morning, Rio Grande Center for Spiritual Living.
Yes, it is.
Hey. Forgiveness, please, for being a little late. We've been dealing with technology, the operative letters being no. So that's kind of what we've been dealing with this morning. My name's Brian Kurtz. My pronouns are he and him, and I'm really grateful to be one of the folks here today. Thank you for joining us in person. Thank you guys for joining us online. Thank you also for turning off your noisemakers, clickers, beepers, poppers, and any other noise thing so that we can enjoy bottle rockets for 4th of July, so that we can maintain the sanctity of our time together. Together we are transforming our world with the power of love and action. No, really. That's why we're here. I want to take a moment to honor the many folks who are love in action here today, supporting our celebration this morning. Our musical inspiration is Susan Clark, who's wearing an awesome hat today for Hat and Birthday Sunday. Yeah, some of us wear hats because it's style, some of us out of necessity. Our tech team today is Cheryl Ray and Belinda Hoshar. Our greeter, Doug Bowe. Our wonderful folks from the Spirit Bound Bookstore, Gilbert's here, everybody that contributes. We also have some licensed spiritual practitioners serving us today. Practitioner Marilyn O'Leary is holding the service in consciousness and prayer. Robin Rice Olmsted will lead our vision and mission statements today, as well as doing some announcements for Solid Grounds Coffee House, which is one of my favorite things around Albuquerque, and one of the reasons I moved here, actually, several years ago. And we've been handed that gift. I'll let Robin talk a little bit more about that in a moment. And Reverend Kamatara will host our celebration and offer our inspirational message today, which is so perfect today. I'll let her elaborate, but it really is so perfect today. Join us, please, in the Abundance Project. You can still join. Monday evenings are 7 to 7:30. Thursday mornings, 8:30 to 9. Go to the newsletter. If you don't get the newsletter, go to the website, Rio Grande Center for Spiritual Living.org? RGCSL.org. Yeah. And Healing Circle this week. Kim Peabody's going to be doing some healing work back there, and it is Birthday Sunday and Hat Sunday. Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It's so good to be here with all of you. Yay!
We feel the same about you.
Oh, thanks. But it really is one of those moments where you feel home. You know, I mean, lots of times people say that, and you go, yeah, thanks. But this is like, oh, yeah, that's true. So it's very exciting. So today, I actually have a surprise announcement as well. So I have two, not one, but two. The first one is Solid Grounds. First of all, thank you. Thank you to everyone who supported us, just even in consciousness, just holding the thought for it to be a great event. It has been a great event and a great learning, and we're just grateful to have you all out there. And it is a gift, as Brian said. And it's just a place for you to come and to connect with new and old friends. And you might have noticed that we haven't really pushed for volunteers and things like that. And that's really because we want it to be a place for you to come and feel comfortable and supported and nurtured, and like it can be a Friday night out, not like you have to kind of cower and hope that somebody doesn't see you to get you to help out. So we want to thank you for that. However, there are volunteer opportunities. If anyone is looking for one, there are plenty. And what you all could do just to help us out is to really, if you can even just word of mouth, that's our biggest ask right now. Word of mouth, if you can take a few flyers and put them out at your, yes, this is my Carol Merrill. Please stand up with my exhibits. If you can leave them at your grocery stores or your co-ops or anywhere you think that people might be interested, that would be fantastic. And if you come on Friday night, there will always be an opportunity for you to serve if that's what you're here for, or just to enjoy. and you can bake. We know you, there's a mean team of bakers here. Yeah, from savory to sweet, from quiches and breads to muffins and cookies, award-winning cookie makers out there. Yeah, if you want to donate that, that's also a great thing. Yeah? Yeah. Okay. And the next announcement I have is a surprise announcement because I'm married to a man who likes to keep quiet a lot. And so I decided to spill the beans on Friday night when we were with friends. And I'm like, this is your people. They need to know, your tribe. So your minister, your center will be represented this year, next month, at the International Conference for CSL in Chapala, Mexico. And Reverend Gil will be a speaker. He'll be bringing the message, and we'll also be presenting a workshop there. So, and we're taking you all with us. So there is an opportunity to go if you want to go, and it's crazy inexpensive. It's literally like $500 to $700 for 4 days, nights, lodging, and meals included, and the conference. So if you want a quick getaway and you want to join us, we'd love to have you. There are flyers. Thank you. And they'll be at the back. So again, you can take them and tell people who might want to journey with us. But we're just so excited to be representing RGCSL, the epicenter of the world. Sure, always. All right. And with that, we're ready to begin. So. So let's just take a breath. And just listening to the sounds and the joy of the animals, of the rustling water, of the beautiful divine music. Just breathing into all of that. And being so grateful. So grateful. How grateful I am to know that that is the sound of spirit. That is the sound of God in action. That is the love, the harmony, the peace, the joy that we seek in our soul, that we know is the very essence of spirit. And standing in that knowingness, I know that I am inseparable from that. I know that that peace is found within me. That joy, that flow of the divine. And I know that it's true for each and every individual in the sanctuary and beyond. Each and every person online, each and every person that hears this later, each and every person that never hears this, but feels it, because that is God. That is God happening in, as, and through us. So I bless this service, knowing that it can only be the perfection of God, the perfection of the divine, knowing that the imperfectness is just God saying, I'm perfect. I'm perfect. I'm whole, I'm complete, and I am ready to thrive. So I declare this prayer a prayer of celebration, a prayer of absolute knowingness, a prayer of knowing the truth for this center, knowing that the abundance is in every crack and crevice and corner of this center and beyond, that as we reach out to the greater community, we lift it up and it lifts up us up, and together we are on top of the world. And so for this, I just give great thanks, and I just allow it to be. And so it is. Amen.
Thank you, Robin. Okay, if you would please stand, and we're going to do a little singing together. You know, people who sing every day are happier. Did you know that? It's proven. It's a proven fact. This song is by Sue K. Riley. We've done it before. There should be some muscle memory for you. It's called I Am the Thinker Who Thinks the Thought. Right. Okay. A little intro. Here we go. I am the thinker who thinks the thought that changes things that shape my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thought. I have the power to change my life. If you ask me who am I am wisdom, I am light. I am more than meets the eye. I cannot be defined. I am a thinker who thinks the thought that changes things that shape my life. I am a thinker who thinks the thought. I have the power to change my life. If you ask me who am I am beauty, I am joy. I am more than meets the eye. I cannot be defined. I am a thinker who thinks the thought that changes things that shape my life. I am a thinker who thinks the thought. I have the power to change my life. I can choose to be the light that brightens someone's darkest night. I'm so much more than meets the eye. I cannot be defined. I am a thinker who thinks the thought that changes things that shape my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thought. I have the power to change my life. That's like that. Thank you.
Thank you, Susan, so much. Good morning. I am Reverend Gil William Olmsted. I am the spiritual director. My pronouns are he and him. And if you were here last week, if you were in Albuquerque and you thought it rained, you should have been with us in the tents. In the camping trip at Jack's Creek.
It became Jack's River.
Yeah. Yeah, luckily the creek is down far enough that didn't affect us, but it was crazy. We had a great weekend. A few people came up on Saturday, joined us, had a nice picnic, and if you missed it, I'm sorry. We'll do it again another time. Okay. All right. So here at RGCSL at Rio Grande Center for Spiritual Living, we base all of our philosophy, all of our thought on the science of mind and new thought. And there's some basic things that define what that is. First of all, we believe in one God, one thing, one power that is behind all things. And secondly, I think we just sang about it, we believe that our thought is creative. I am the thinker behind the thought, right? Thirdly, we believe that everything is love. It's either a call for love or an act of love. So we open ourselves to that possibility, and we stand in love. We come from love whenever, always, if we can. And finally, despite what Kamatara may tell you, we are all whole, perfect, and complete. No, I'm just riffing off the title for today. Reverend Kamatara, I'm sure we'll have some fun with it. But in our imperfection, we are perfect, whole, and complete at our core. And so we just stand in that. So with that, I want to welcome all of you here, all of you who are online. Thank you so much for being here. We want to welcome everyone, and we're going to send some love to each other and just bless this whole time together. So if we can rub our hands together, send your energy out to one another, and say, we see you. We see you. We know who you really are. We know who you really are. You are that divine emanation of spirit. You are that divine emanation of spirit. We love you. We appreciate you. And we thank God for you. Welcome to Rio Grande.
All right, it's time for our vision and mission statement. So as it appears on the screen? There it is. All right, repeat with me. Vision: transforming our world with the power of love in action. And our mission: loving all creation through spiritual growth and service, always staying true to our highest self. All right, and I have a couple of readings for you today. So I'm going to ask you to just take a breath and really just take these in. There are two readings by Brene Brown. Our connection with others can only be as deep as our connection with ourselves. If I don't know and understand who I am and what I need, want, and believe, I can't share myself with you. And the next reading is, the truth is, belonging starts with self. Your level of belonging, in fact, can never be greater than your level of self-acceptance, because believing that you're enough is what gives you the courage to be authentic, vulnerable, and imperfect. Susan.
It's so very quiet. So very quiet. Okay. We're about to change that, though. Yeah. Let's see, which one do I want to do first? I think I'll do this one by David Roth. This is called Practice Makes Progress. Practice makes progress. Okay. I was nervous. I was scared. He said, jump. And I said, where? Off this cliff. We're gonna glide. You must be joking. I replied, not at all. He said to me, I'll be right here. Here's where I'll be. We'll take the plunge. It won't be hard. We'll do it once, and that's a start. Practice makes progress. Give it a try. That thing you think you can't do just stresses you. It's just a journey, you and I. Practice makes progress. Give it a try. Got a friend in a chair, rolls around here and there. There are things that he can't do. Ride a bike, tie his shoe. But who said legs or eyes or ears makes this world any clearer? He teaches me, I stumble on, and we get up whenever we fall down. 'Cause practice makes progress. Give it a try. That thing you think you can't do just stresses you. It's a journey, you and I. Practice makes progress. Give it a try. Here it comes again. I'm feeling fearful, afraid of the mistakes that I might make. But fear is is just excitement without oxygen. So I'll take the deepest breath that I can take. A little nervous, a little shy, new situation, my oh my, but here I go. What's there to lose? I'll still be breathing no matter what I do. Practice makes progress, give it a try. That thing you think you can't do just stresses you. It's just a journey, you and I. Practice makes progress, give it a try. It's just a journey, it's always so. Practice makes progress. Here we go. Thank you.
And of course, that was perfect, right? As you can tell, the topic for this month is about the beauty, the bounty, the blessings of imperfection. And today we get to explore the opposite, and not just perfection, but perfectionism, which kind of takes perfection to that toxic level. And I know that God has a sense of humor, and I say this often because whenever I'm the speaker up here and I get the topic from the Centers for Spiritual Living, the global themes, and I'm like, oh, sweet baby Jesus, I just got that topic. Okay, because, you know, when it comes to perfectionism, and some of you who know me well, you understand that that's where I have frequent flyer miles, gold medals, trophies, and all the things like this. This is it. In fact, on my nightstand is a book, because when you find out that you're a perfectionist, you go to the store and you buy a book about how to dismantle perfectionism in your life, because that's what perfectionists do. And the counselor who wrote this book understands that about us, so some of it is very tongue-in-cheek as he's writing to us. So thank you, Taylor Neuendorp. And as you can see, I'm only this far in the book because I'm taking it very seriously, as a perfectionist would do. And so while I can say to you that I'm very advanced in the lived experience of perfectionism, can speak to great lengths about that, I am a brand new baby beginner at dismantling perfectionism. So take everything I say with a grain of salt, maybe a salt lick, I don't know. We'll see how it goes today. So in my commitment to try to step out of the box and be a little more free-range minister, notice I'm leaving the podium, much to the camera person's consternation. I don't have a script today, because that's one of the things that a perfectionist would do to make sure that it's precisely 20 minutes on the nose and it does the thing. It has all the things that you're going to say exactly, precisely right. So my commitment to show you, I am trying to show you that I am committed to dismantling my perfectionism, and I have mere bullet points. And so I'm taking a risk here, but I'd also like to share with you the inner and outer experience that a perfectionist has in this moment. And if you're a perfectionist, you know exactly what I'm going through right now. And if you're not, you're like, what? I don't get it. So the outer experience is that this is very funny and I'm well put together, and isn't this fun, and I'm profiling very well. And on the inside, the inner experience is total intestinal discomfort. My heart is pounding and my armpits are sweating, and I'm like total turmoil and terror. And you don't get to see the hours of preparation that went into even having these ridiculous bullet points. And then whatever's going to happen afterwards, when if I have the courage to watch it again, and then have, like, you know, the shame and guilt and blame of like, oh, this and this little thing and that little thing and all the self-judgment and all the stuff that happens. Yeah. That's the inner experience. And what you get to see is the highlight reel. I'm giving you this great talk, and isn't it fantastic? Thank you. And just as modeled by our beautiful Barbara Dawson, who just said, you've got this, it is a matter of courage. Practice makes progress, and a matter of trust. I trust myself because I have skills. I trust you all because you are a loving and generous community, as evidenced by my history with you. You always have been kind and supportive no matter what. I could get up here and read from the phone book and it would be fine. And it's fine. And this one I'm working on, and I trust Spirit to fill in the blanks. And trust is kind of tricky for people who are perfectionists. It's hard to trust. I like to joke around that I could out-God God. Get out of my way, God, I got this. Because that trust isn't there. Like, I am going to engineer this so it is perfect, and it'll be fine, and then I'll be safe, and it'll be good, and everything will work out, it'll be fine. But we know that that is an illusion. So I'm working really hard on leaving that behind. And I know that a lot of you can relate to this, that we were raised with this concept of perfectionism, that you have to be perfect or it doesn't count, or it's no good, you don't make the cut, you don't rate, you don't get the scholarship, you don't get the job, you don't get the promotion, you don't, like, on and on and on and on and on. And for those of you who maybe grew up in an unstable home, as I did, you know that oftentimes in an unstable home, there's a discrepancy between what may be happening in the home and then out in public, you're profiling as perfect. Everything is perfect. You get the highlight reel, you get the Disney version that's in public. And so it was interesting to learn as I'm going through this beautiful book is that my persuasion of perfectionism is public perfectionism. So performance anxiety is right up there, which is why you very rarely ever hear me sing a complete solo. That is very rare. If I ever did it, it was like in a wild move of courage. Or, I'm usually third alto to the left. I'm not like the person out there. Or I'm the accompanist, and it's for someone else to sing and do the thing. Or, I'm up here with my script, or I have it engineered just so. All of that. And I do wonder if, my fabulous experiences with sports, I joke around that, yeah, I'm a non-competitive pacifist, so sports was awful. But I think if I go one underneath that, the perfectionist in me doesn't want to be in sports. Because I wouldn't be perfect, and I'd make a mistake, and people would be upset at me, and it would cause conflict. And I don't like conflict because conflict means it isn't perfect. And again, we could play this game all day long. So it's just wild to be swimming around in this topic this week and realizing, how am I reacting? What am I doing? If I think this, then that. So I have to be perfect in public. I will overcompensate. When I was in my household, I either wanted to completely hide and blend into the wall and be invisible, or I was going to outshine the sun. Brené Brown calls that overcompensating. And that has been my MO kind of all along. And certainly to hustle for my worth, to use another Brené Brown phrase, I had to hustle for my worth. So I had to be perfect. And certainly what was in my home was reinforced by white dominant culture, or what's in American society, the social norms that you have to be the best. And guess what marketing does? Well, if you're not the best, then you need our product. You just buy this thing and it'll be the best, or you have this experience and it'll be the best. Or to give you a new thought example of spiritual materialism, you go to this workshop, this retreat, or you take this class and you have a mountaintop experience. And if it isn't a mountaintop experience, you did it wrong, you're bad, you're no good, you can't sit on the meditation mat, you're doing it wrong, you're no good. So maybe in the context of spirituality, same concept. It transfers. And then even beyond marketing, our whole system of capitalism is built exactly on this concept, survival of the fittest and being perfect. At the top, our definitions of success, of worthiness. Two of the most painful lies in the United States are based on hyper-individualism and perfectionism. So if perfectionism is still running in the background for you, we're going to work really hard to at least begin to dismantle that. And if perfectionism isn't a thing for you, you're like, nah, that doesn't even register. I have peace with that. Then you have a different job. I'm going to tell you at the end what your job is. Okay, there's different jobs here. So let's just start with, what is perfectionism? You know you're going to get a dictionary definition if I'm up here. And I like this book because he starts with a dictionary definition. So, all right, from the Merriam-Webster Collegiate Dictionary, perfectionism is a disposition to regard anything short of perfection as unacceptable. Right? Did you feel that? And then this amazing author goes on to write, how might that apply to you? Notice what that definition really means. Anything short of perfection is unacceptable. If you believe this, chances are you view everything you do as unacceptable, at least to some degree. And if you have that mindset long enough, you run the risk of starting to believe that you, as a person, are simply never good enough. And that leads to feelings of worthlessness and ongoing insecurity, and then your actions become driven by fear and desperation. Wow, that just encapsulated my life experience in a little nutshell. Woo, that hits close to home and super powerful, because we know the impact of our thoughts and beliefs on our lives. What we think about ourselves then colors what we do, what we say, the relationships we have, the experience we have, and do the math. You just follow it through. That's exactly what that paragraph just did. So we really need to be aware of the impacts of perfectionism. So I'm going to highlight just 3 of the many impacts of perfectionism. The first impact of perfectionism is that when things have to be perfect, it narrows our focus and it fixates us on the ideal, and maybe a false ideal, that it has to be Disney perfect, and it has to be extreme, or it doesn't count. It has to be, extreme youth, extreme riches, the perfect beauty. It has to be the Hallmark movie of love. It has to be, this amazing epic home or this outrageous adventure. And if it's not that, it doesn't count, it's not good enough, it's less than, it's bad, or you're wrong. Well, if that's the only thing that measures up, that makes the cut, how could we ever be happy? How could we ever be good enough or really experience the thing that's in front of us? And it just sets us up for these impossible standards. Disappointment every time. It's a loser every time. Who wants to live like that? But unconsciously, that's what's running in the background, right? And it's the Mary Poppins standard. Remember that movie? And she's measuring the children. And then they say, well, let's measure you, Mary Poppins. And of course, she pulls it up, and it's got the special mark on it. And what does it say? Mary Poppins, practically perfect in every way. Yeah, that's not real. It's not real. I cannot live by those impossible standards. And every time I do, I am just destroying myself, or I'm destroying the people around me. I am setting myself up for failure that isn't even real failure. It's like false standard failure, as opposed to being open to what is right in front of me, right in the here and now, this beautiful moment that we're having without my script. It's fine, and it's beautiful, and it's good. And another impact of this perfectionism is exactly that it promotes the illusion of duality, either or thinking. It's good, it's bad, it's right, it's wrong, it's perfect, or it's imperfect. And I would go further than that. It's perfect, or it's trash. Really, it's that extreme. Think about a time when maybe there was something that was really, really good. You had a great experience. Like, let's say 90% of whatever experience it was great. And then 10%, like, ooh, yeah, that was rough. And then what do you end up talking about? That 10% that was really, really rough, even though, like, all this other stuff was beautiful and amazing. And yeah, this piece was rugged. Yeah, sure. But why let that overshadow all the things? Like, it really cuts us off from the full experience, from the things that are right in front of us, if it has to be perfect. Can we let that go and just have the full, rich bounty of that experience, of that person, of me, of whatever it is? Allow it to be what it is without judging it and trashing it. And a third impact of perfectionism is that oftentimes it prevents us from taking action or engaging fully. Well, it won't be perfect, so why bother? Well, I'm never going to make that play, so why audition? Oh, I can't be a best-selling author. Like, why write that book? Oh, this is going to be a terrible trip. And then we set ourselves up for a terrible trip. As opposed to, it's going to be perfectly imperfect. Whatever it is that happens is exactly what I need to experience in this moment. If we believe in divine right order, in oneness of God is all there is, there's no duality, it just is, then this is perfect in its imperfection. And you know I love me a good paradox. So for things to be perfectly imperfect, when we allow things to be such as they are, then we get the wholeness that's already there. That's where we can say what Reverend Gill said earlier. It is whole, complete, and perfect when we allow it to be such as it is. It's where our humanity meets our divinity. It's that intersection that's so juicy and gooey and messy and ridiculous and fabulous. That's where real life happens, not the Disney version. When you're just on the surface and you're thinking, wow, what is really going on with that person? I don't need the Disney version. I want the real version. In fact, that gets us into the gifts of imperfection. In fact, if you haven't read this book, Brené Brown, it's amazing. It's a short read. It's very accessible. It absolutely will help to recalibrate head and heart. Really important read. But when I think about the gifts of imperfection, when I can allow things to not be perfect, then I get to build compassion for myself and compassion for others. I get to build appreciation. Oh my gosh, appreciating what it takes for Susan to get up there and sing the song and do the thing. Oh my word, like, that's amazing. Or for Robin to come up, for people to do the prayers, to do the tech, to bake and bring stuff. I get to appreciate what it takes for someone to have the courage to do the thing. And to use a Brené Brown phrase, to dare to enter the arena. You did it. You stepped in. That's amazing. I get to appreciate that. And then also when things don't have to be perfect, I could take a risk. And if things don't go well, I get to learn resilience. I get to get back up. I get to lean into my friends. I get to ask for help. It's all okay. I'm still breathing. It's okay. And then in addition to that, that's where the growth happens. I really grow when I allow myself to do these things. And that's where we get the greater experience of authenticity. What people are truly like, deep, deep down in reality, not just, I'm going to give you the version of me that I think you want so I can get the thing that I think I want. Oh my God, no one wins at that game? I tried for years. It's a horrible game. It doesn't work. So that authenticity is amazing. And that's where we get to experience more of each other, more of life, and more of the divine. The gifts of imperfection, allowing it to be what it is. I just spent a month in Wisconsin, and as some of you know, my dad is in hospice care right now in a skilled nursing facility, and he's not actively dying, but we're in the grisly pre-stages of that, and it's this long, slow slog through his body letting go and processing and all the things that are going on, and it isn't pleasant, and it's horribly painful, and it's rough, and if I walked into his room and I was like, well, I'm here, so you should be awake, and we should have a conversation, and you should be eating, and then we should have, this fun moment of reconciliation, and all, Disney movie of his death experience. Yeah, that's pretty much not going to happen. And then if it doesn't happen, am I devastated? Am I wrong? Is he wrong? Is it bad? Is it less than? But if I can walk into that room in hospice care and be like, you know what? It doesn't matter if he's awake or asleep. He could sleep the entire time that I'm there, and I could pray and love him up while I'm sitting in a chair. We could have a conversation. We might not. He could make sense. He might not. He might be seeing things and hearing things. He might be seeing and hearing me. It doesn't matter. He might eat today. He might not. And approaching from that position, then all of a sudden a different aspect opened up where I could just be there in love. This huge call for love as he is, I can almost feel it, like he is in the crucible right now. Gold that is tested in fire, it is purifying. He is going through this really difficult experience right now as his ego is being shredded and releasing earthly attachment. And to sit there and witness, and it's intensely imperfect, and yet it's so perfect to have that experience and to love him and appreciate him and show up for him. And it's a huge gift that I have the honor of being able to do that. And some of you have said to me, oh, I didn't get to do that with my parents. I didn't even get to say goodbye or whatever it was. And I got to do that because I was open to it being imperfect. It was perfectly imperfect. All the gifts of the imperfection were right there. And those are gifts that I could give to him as well, that he could experience love and compassion and appreciation and growth and authenticity. I love that. All right, so let's bring this in for a landing. If perfectionism is a thing that you might struggle with, like me, I'm going to give you 3 things I want you to try this week to begin to dismantle perfectionism. And if you're like, nah, yeah, I got this licked, I don't need your things, I have a different task for you. Okay, so if perfectionism is your thing, the first thing I want you to try this week is to make a mistake on purpose. Let the lettuce be in your teeth. Let the big thing that I brushed against in my white capris just be on here. Take your hat off and have hat hair. And wear your shirt backwards one day and just, or inside out. Lord knows I've done that. And have a typo in your slides. I do a national training for Circles USA, and on the sheet, on the slide where it says, here are the norms, the group agreements, I typed in permission to be human, and I literally had a typo in it. It said permission to ebb human. And everyone in the Zoom room was dying. Like, they so wanted to tell me, like, there's a mistake. And I was like, and I know. And when I saw it, it was so funny and so ironic, I left it in there because can we sit in the discomfort of, there's a mistake, and it's okay. We're still breathing. We're going to get through this. It's all right. So I challenge you, make a mistake this week and do it on purpose. And the second part of that challenge is to observe your reaction. How do you feel when that happens? What do you typically tend to do? Do you have an MO? Is it the shame, the embarrassment, the beating yourself up? Is it hiding? Is it running away? Is it saying, well, I'm just never going to do that again? What is the thing you typically do? Because then you can raise your self-awareness and then try something different. And that's the third thing I challenge you to do, to take a risk and to do it anyway. In fact, my new gold medal that's being made, I would say in the last 5 years, is for do it anyway. I've gotten up and sung the song and tried out for the choir and been on the stage and gotten up here and given the talks and faced incredible conflict at work and realized conflict can be generative, which is a new position for me, and I've done it anyway. So I want to challenge you, is there something that you really want to do that's been kind of rolling around and it keeps coming back up to be known and you're just like, no. Like, no, bring it forth. Could you do one thing towards that? Take a risk and do it anyway. You have a great spiritual community here that would support you to do it anyway. For those of you without perfectionism, here's your task. If you're like, yeah, I don't have any of this. I'm good, Kamatara. Okay, here's what I need you to do. Could you all help the rest of us who are not okay? If you're in an experience and you're like, wow, there is some perfectionism running hot right here, in a gentle, loving way at an appropriate time. Did you see how I frame that? In a gentle, loving way at an appropriate time. Could you help the person to maybe see, like, wow, I think you're being really hard on yourself. This might be a little smidge of perfectionism. Is there something else, could we try the opposite here? Is there something else we might do here? What support do you need to be okay right now? Or whatever it is. So if perfectionism isn't your thing, could you help the rest of us? Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for all the perfectionists in the room. It's tricky stuff. All right, so here's what we're going to do to end. In this book, there is a fabulous part where it helps us to reimagine what we might have instead of perfectionism. And so I'm going to give you 10 P words. They're all P's. That's amazing. And I want you to see if there's one word in particular that rises to the top that you're like, oh, I like that word. I'm going to hold on to it for the week. Okay. And actually, Susan already sang one of them, so it's perfect that it was here. And then I'm going to say the word, and then you get to say the phrase, not perfection. All right, do you have your lines? Not perfection. Okay, so here's one for you. Progress, not perfection. Persistence, not perfection. Productivity, not perfection. Participation, not perfection. Patience, not perfection. Preparation, not perfection. Perspective, not perfection. Positivity, not perfection. Personal preference, not perfection. And perseverance. Not perfection. All right, I hope you found a word that you love. So, I hope that you have an amazingly, fabulously, perfectly imperfect week. Yeah. Thank you. All right. Let's take this to prayer. And we're going to have a fabulously imperfect prayer here. It's one of the things that makes me nervous about being up here. Just play with my cards face up here. All right, and thank you, practitioners, who are surrounding the room, which is a visual symbol of how the arms of the divine are always wrapped around you. And so in this moment, in this place, it is so easy to recognize the presence of the one living source, of the all that is, of this thing that I choose to call God. And I know that God is infinite and bountiful and loving. And so I know that this infinite, loving, bountiful expression is expressing as each one of us in the here and now. Each one of us is the place where the divine shows up. And so you are aligned with the divine that is the presence and power within. And knowing that I am an expression of the divine, and that there's no separation here between you, me, God, what is. I speak my word for each person here. I know that each one of us is perfectly imperfect, and that we thrive at the intersection of our humanity and divinity. And that any time a judgment rises up, that our flaws seem epic and disproportionately problematic, or we're feeling the stress and consternation and nervousness and all the toxic things that go along with having to be perfect. Whenever that comes up, I affirm for each one of us that we can recognize it and surrender it to the divine. Just hit the release button and launch it into the divine. That is not the truth of my being. And I surrender it, and I tap into my courage, I tap into the strength of the divine, and I face my fears, and I do it anyway. And I know that I am whole, complete, and perfect, even in all my messy goodness. And I know that others who cross my path are whole, complete, and perfect in their messy goodness, and that anything that seems imperfect is exactly the experience I am to have in this moment. And so I open my heart, and I open my mind, and I open my eyes to be able to see the divine in the all, and to honor what's really happening here, and to strengthen my resilience with imperfection, and to cultivate the gifts of imperfection, to build my muscles for compassion and appreciation and resilience and authenticity. These are gifts of the Spirit, gifts we can give to each other. And I am so grateful. I'm so grateful for the spiritual community in which we get to do our work and learn and practice with each other and support each other when we run amok, that we can help each other to be okay when perfectionism rears its ugly head, and we can say, no, that is not the truth of my being. I see you there. I see your perfection. I'm so grateful for sharing the journey. I'm grateful for these teachings, this faith, this philosophy, this way of being that helps me to take back my life and have a much richer, more beautiful experience. And I'm so grateful for all the ways that this is going to outpicture in the week yet to come, that each one of us is going to have very powerful, interesting, insightful experiences this week and all month long as we explore the gifts of imperfection. It all comes out in a divine, perfect order. So a heart filled with gratitude for this time together, knowing that it all is perfectly imperfect. I release it to the divine, knowing that all is well. And so it is.
All right, let's give our imperfect speaker some love. That was delightful. Thank you. Absolutely fantastic. And an incredible reminder to all of us how we hold ourselves back and how we hold others back because we want them to be perfect. Wow. So, I want to take this moment and just invite everyone to consider how they are supporting this community. And there are so many ways that we support it, and we're going to be grateful for all of those. And in a moment, we're going to offer our monetary version of that gratitude and that support for the community. So if you have a gift with you, if you don't, just hold it symbolically over your heart. And we're going to say this together. I am abundant, and I give from my abundance. I am prosperous, and I give from my prosperity. I am blessed, and I give from my blessings. My blessings of spirit are as abundant as the stars, and so I give and receive generously, and so it is. Amen. So if you're at home, there are ways to give going across the screen. If you're here, please feel free to use the baskets. And thank you, Susan, for offering some music for us.
You're very welcome, Reverend Gill. So this next song was kind of a no-brainer for me. I don't have to be perfect. I'm doing the best I can. I give myself permission to be just who I am. I don't have to be perfect. I'm doing the best I can. I give myself permission to be just who I am. It started in 3rd grade. The teacher said, let's sing and have some fun. So I let it rip. I let it wail. And she said, Susan, why don't you just hum? For many years I squished my voice, thinking I was wrong. So then one day I learned the truth, and now I sing this song that says I don't have to be perfect. I'm doing the best I can. I give myself permission to be just who I am. Now I'm standing in front of the mirror, obsessing about my belly fat, my thighs, my butt, wrinkles round
All right. So in that vein, let us bless these gifts that support this imperfect, perfect community, that allow us to be the perfect light in our own imperfect way. They allow us to stand in our perfect truth in our own imperfect way. And so I'm grateful for each and every gift and all that allows us to do in our community and to be together. And so it is. It's August. No, it's not. It's July. I got ahead a month. It's July. It's the first week, and that means it's Hat Day. Some people got the hat memo. Most of us keep forgetting. But it's also Birthday Sunday. So who do we have that has a birthday in July? I know we have somebody coming up. There he is. There's one. Whoa! All right, we got a couple more coming up. Anybody else have a birthday? Okay. Oh, yeah. Wait, here comes another one. Okay, wait. Did we give you permission to leave the tech booth? What happened? Wow. All right, so are we going to sing happy birthday to all these folks?
I think we better.
Okay, let's do it.
Here. Are we ready? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you.
All right, so now let's hear from them. I would love to hear what you're claiming for yourself this year. Are you ready, Belinda? No, I'm going to start at your end. You're it.
I'll start at the other end. Hold on. What am I claiming for myself this year? I'm claiming abundance in all ways.
All right.
Always.
All right.
I'm claiming that I'll be really imperfect a lot and enjoy it. And lots of joy and light and love and just a lot of good stuff.
Awesome.
You stole my thunder.
Well, you got.
I am going to work at imperfection. Absolute make a mess of things. Thank you.
Fun in the Bachelor.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's just bless all these folks as they go back to their seats. Thank you so much. Happy birthday. So just remember that what they claim for themselves is what we claim for ourselves. So come on up.
Okay. All right, well, continuing in the imperfection theme, there was an announcement left out of the announcements. So want to remind you that on Wednesday there is drumming circle. Drumming circle at 5:30. So be here. And also, I also forgot to remind you that if you are interested in hearing a little bit more about the conference that we'll be at, we will be doing it on our show, Rockin' the Love, on Wednesdays at 1 o'clock. You can find it on YouTube, Facebook, and New Thought Media Network. Okay, all right. So I love that. I'm so excited to be living into possibility. Possibility is my P word. I want to thank everybody online. Even though we don't always see you, we feel you. I want to say, send love out to Lou and Marilyn and Chantal and Allison and Kayla and Ananda and all of those that were joining us online. We're so grateful to have you. And even those that we don't know you're out there, we feel you and we're surrounding you in love, and we know that you're doing the same for us. And along with that, if you would like to celebrate with us today, don't forget to take advantage of the prayer garden. And this is a perfect time. Maybe you felt like, oh, I can't do it because what will they think or what will I say? Let it go. Come and pray with the practitioners over in the prayer garden. It doesn't have to be a big problem. We're just there to help you magnify your blessings. So pray, be grateful, be happy, and we're there to share that with you. And so I think that's all I say, and then you're going to say Oh, well, you already know that. It's birthday Sunday, and what happens in the other room? We always celebrate, right? So come to the other side, celebrate with us. There'll be lots of food and drinks and fun, and who doesn't want to give Miguel a big birthday hug? So meet us over there, and now a song, and then we'll affirm ourselves out.
Yeah, I like that meet. We're going to meet on the other side. I mean, to me, that takes on several different meanings. But
Gil?
I'd like for Rev Gil to come up on stage and join you, Robin, so you both can help lead us in this song, because I happen to know it's one of Gil's favorites. If you please stand. This is very short, very sweet, but very important information.
Sing it to each other.
I love myself so much, so I can love you so much, so you can love you so much, so you can start loving me. I love myself so much, so I can love you so much, so you can love you so much, so you can start loving me. So much, so I can love you so much, so you can love you so much, so you can start loving me. One more time. I love myself so much, and I can love you so much, so you can love you so much, so you can start loving me. Because we all know that love is all there is, love is all there is, love is all there is, love is all there is. Love is all there is, love is all there is. Thank you.
Awesome. Our affirmation for the week. Are you ready? Okay. I welcome the gifts of imperfection. I welcome the gifts of imperfection. Have a great week, everyone. Thank you.